Tonight on the King Omar Sharif Show, we got some more relationship talk for y'all. And normally when I have these topics, I'm talking about love and love languages and the importance of communication and empathy and trying to make things work. But sometimes after all of that, it still doesn't work. So when that happens, it might just be time to say goodbye for good. So let's talk about it.
Why you always coming in here wildin' with your bad energy? You always trying to mess up my energy. Come on, with all these violent vibes, man. Get out of here with that negative energy.
Good to say, you ain't got nothing good to say. Ain't nothing different from yesterday or the day before. You should like your jaw. That right there is the hater way. On the hater way, going right away. Cause with Omar, she likes to play. You should watch your mouth, go and wash it out. Then rinse it too, I got things to do. Oh, I'm so sick of you. I told my mama and my therapist too. I get so drained hearing you complain. To the next exit of a lover's lane. I hope that train didn't board that plane. I'm loving you more than the Lord insane. Father, forgive me, I know that you with me, even when the city gets windy.
Hello, my beautiful people. I welcome you back to the King Omar Sharif Show, where we turn our bad into good situations. This show is all about you, your mind, your body, your soul. I believe if we can control those three things, we'll find happiness. Before we dive into the show tonight, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting and showing love. It means so much to me. It's motivation and keeps me going. And if you haven't joined the family yet, right here on the King Omar Sharif Show channel, here's your opportunity. Hit subscribe, like, share, comment, show some love. Be a part of this growth right here, because when you grow, I grow, we grow together. And we're going to be doing this every single Tuesday night. We got great topics, great discussion, sharing stories, and it's only going to get better from here, y'all. So subscribe to the channel. I thank you, I love you, and that's love. It's so hard to say goodbye to the one you love. Ain't it hard, y'all? It's so hard to say goodbye to the person that you in love with, should I say. I think that they say when you give so much emotion, time, dedication, loyalty, everything that you put into a relationship, because you really trust that you found the one, or you're going to be with your one until the end of time, or if you're married, till death do you part, as they say. But I think that it hurts when you're so invested into someone and that person isn't invested into you the way that you are in them. And that happens every day, I'm sure, right? That happens every day. And that's the chance we take when we give our hearts to somebody else and open up. So it's a part of the game, right? But when that happens, it's hard for us to say, I know this person may not be the one for me, but I love them so much. So you stick around and you stick around. And you put up with things that you know aren't things that you want for your relationship. You know you want more from the person that you're loving, from the person that you're in love with. You want more from them, right? You want them to give you more. And it works both ways, okay? So what are you really sacrificing, though? How much of your happiness are you giving up to be with this person that you know isn't going to do the things for you that's going to make you entirely happy? Now, I use that word entirely a little lightly, because everybody's not probably going to do every single thing that you want them to do, right? Let's be realistic. But at the same time, if it's some like important ingredients to what's going to make that meal taste delicious, your meal, then all right, you can't do without those ingredients. Some things you may be able to do without, but the main ingredients that you know that's going to keep you happy, the main ingredients to your happiness, those are must-haves. And when somebody isn't doing that, you really got to say, you know what? Can I live like this? So those are things that we need to talk about. So I think that the first steps to being able to say goodbye for good, I would say that one of them has to be being honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Sometimes the head and the heart, they're saying two different things, but you got to align them and find that honesty in the middle. Find that honesty between the two, right here and right there. What's honest for myself? Am I giving way more than I'm getting back? That's something that you need to take into consideration. Now, when you dive into a relationship with someone, one of my main things is really being able to become friends first, all right? Because that'll give you better chances of having a relationship that lasts. And it also gives you an opportunity to get to know each other better and figure out if having a relationship is something that y'all should do. Is that going to damage your friendship? Are you going to lose each other forever at some point because you know that you may just be settling, or maybe this person ain't as good as my wife or my husband, but they are a good person and maybe we can still have some type of friendship. So friendship is key, y'all. Taking your time is key. Not jumping into bed with each other right away is key. These are keys, okay? And make sure you keep your keys on you. Every day when you leave the house, you bring your keys, right? So you can get back in the house. Treat your heart that way. Treat your relationships that way. Always take your keys. Never forget your keys, because that's going to allow you to get back home. You get frustrated in love sometimes, right? You get frustrated when you feel like somebody isn't feeling what you're saying or hearing what you're saying or understanding your feelings. It's frustrating. It gets frustrating when you feel like you're putting way more value into somebody and they're not acknowledging that value or showing appreciation for that value. They're just taking it and receiving it, putting it into their emotional bank and in their headspace and applying it to themselves, but they're not giving anything like that back to you. Now, we're all different. I'm speaking for myself. You may be okay with that. You may be okay with always giving and not getting back as much. But I feel like there's give and get in all of this. So you need to really ask yourself, am I getting enough? I'm a giver at heart, but am I getting enough back? How many years are gonna go by where I'm like, all right, this is gonna get better. This is gonna get better. Okay, we're gonna just keep working on this. I'm gonna keep working on me. She or he is gonna keep working on them. And then our relationship is gonna grow stronger and it's gonna be better. And we're gonna be so beautifully in love. That's what we're thinking. But then when time continues to pass, and everybody, time is our greatest gift. It could be gone just like that, okay? And when you're giving that time or spending that time with somebody, and remind you, time is going by like warp speed. Warp. I'm sure we all can think right now to when we was running around the house, outside having fun till the street lights came on, or whatever your rules are at your house and on your block. So the person that we're giving our time to, we need to make sure that, all right, we're not wasting our time. And if too much time goes by and we feel like, yo, I'm missing so many ingredients in this recipe, this don't taste right. If that's something that you're feeling, then you really need to be honest with yourself and say, do I still want to remain like this? And is this what's going to ultimately make me happy, or happiest as I can be? Now, another thing that we need to do is have strength, because this takes strength to do, y'all. You got to be strong to be able to say, I want more for myself. You got to be strong to walk away from the person that you're in love with. That takes strength. Strength that you may not even think that you have inside of yourself. That takes strength. Say this with me. I am strong. I have enough strength to be happy. Again, I am strong. I have enough strength to be happy. You have enough strength to be happy. I have enough strength to be happy. Even when we're sad and vulnerable and feeling weak and not knowing, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Sometimes you're crying. Sometimes you're praying. Sometimes you don't know what you're saying. And you don't think that you're strong enough to make tough decisions like this, because breaking up, since I was a young boy, y'all, I'm talking about elementary school, first girlfriends, high school, all of that type of stuff. It was always difficult for me to break up with the girl that I was with or the woman that I was with. Because you know you about to hurt somebody. You know you about to make them sad. You know this. And most of us don't like bringing that out of people. We don't want them to feel that emotion due to a decision that we're making. So I was that guy. I never wanted to make her cry. As soon as you say she feel like that's the direction it's going, you start hearing, because she know what time it is, or he knows what time it is. But for me, I'm like, oh man, here we go again. I remember my college girl. We was singing Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be. Like, I was vibing out to it, right? And I got to a point where I got to talking to her, and I guess it reminded her of Donnell Jones's song. She was like, oh, what? You want somewhere I want to be? She ain't say it so nicely. She added a couple of explicits at the end of that. But I was like, man, I have been listening to this song pretty heavy. Maybe it did get into my mental space and it's altering my emotions a little bit. But I remember that. But you know, it's never an easy thing, especially when the person may catch it blindsidedly. Okay? So it takes strength to say, I am strong and I have the strength to be happy. And you do. And you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be with the person that you feel is your person. You deserve to be with that person that you feel has those ingredients that you like. You deserve to enjoy that meal. And it should be reciprocated. And before we even get to that point where we're saying goodbye, I feel as though that communication part is always going to be a huge factor. I believe that we owe it to the person that we love and to the person that loves us the opportunity to hear us out before we just say, all right, I'm out. This ain't going to work. Unless it's something that's like, you know, crazy or abusive, purposely abusive. Men and women, especially men, keep your hands off these women. Ladies, don't push buttons. Don't try to start things that don't need to be, okay? But it just takes a lot of strength to walk away and say goodbye for good. Another thing that needs to be done when we're saying goodbye for good, we got to make sure that we're setting boundaries. Again, communicate your boundaries, be honest, be strong about your boundaries with yourself and to that person that you're with, and let them know once these boundaries are crossed, okay, you may get a warning. It's like when you passing the gun line. like in Life, the movie Life. You're getting close to that gun line, you better not cross that gun line. That's your boundary, okay? You may give them a warning, hey, you're getting close to that line. But our boundaries need to be respected, and we need to make sure that we're respecting ourselves to even mention those boundaries or remind somebody about those boundaries, all right? Now, when we're saying goodbye, when those boundaries have been crossed, or we just say, you know what, this isn't for me, you need to be respectful and mindful of the boundaries for your own self, so you're not stepping back on that other side of the line and opening yourself up to the same things that you ran away from. You know it's not good for you. You know he ain't no good for you, girl. Brother, King, you know she ain't no good for you. But this might be good, that might be good, and you fall back into that cycle. So set those boundaries and stick to them. Now, once those boundaries are set and you know, like, look, I'm not stepping back over that line, at that moment, during that time of healing, because that's what you're doing, you're healing yourself, you're healing from the person that you were just with, you're gaining strength, you're learning how to be more resilient in your relationship. And in this aspect, outside of that relationship, you got to be able to have that self-love and self-care time. You got to be able to have that. Because if you're not loving on yourself, if you're not giving yourself the proper self-care, oftentimes you'll slip back into the same spot that you just left. You'll slip back into eating that food that you know isn't good for you. You'll slip back into just settling for that recipe that's missing all those ingredients. But you're like, it's still food, but you're not gonna enjoy it as much. So when we're saying goodbye and we're trying to get over somebody, you gotta really take care of yourself. Maybe do the things for yourself that you wanted that person to do, but they weren't doing. Start acting on those things, okay? I think that's a way to treat yourself better. That's a way to treat yourself good. That's an opportunity for you to love on yourself. Now, it's good to have somebody love on you. But who's the main person that got to love on you? You are, right? You are the main person that has to love on you. Now, there's times where we're going to be alone, right? You're going to be alone in this journey. Like me right now, I'm alone. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be lonely. Because as long as you're loving on you, there's no time for you to be lonely and be somber and thinking about what you used to have. Embrace what's in front of you. You said goodbye to that for a reason. You know it's not good for you, right? For whatever reason, it's not good for you. So as long as you're doing things, maybe you start picking up hobbies, or maybe you let something that you really love to do go because that person was taking up that time. You know, get back into those things. Be active, and not necessarily active back in dating, but you do what you want, right? And they say that's another way to kind of get over whoever you were with. But I really think that if we take time to really just give ourselves that self-love and care and really treat ourselves good, that's really all we really need. I think that's all we're gonna need. That right there, all we need is us. Whoever comes into our lives should compliment that. It should be a compliment. That's why they say you shouldn't jump into relationships until you really feel like you're ready for one. A lot of people don't be ready for one. My last relationship, I felt I was ready for it. And I had signs that showed me I was ready for it. And one of the biggest signs for me was being totally invested. being totally committed, doing things that I hadn't done before, feeling things that I hadn't felt before. So I was like, yeah, this is right. But because I loved her so much, and I still love her, y'all, but I knew and I know that mentally and emotionally is not healthy. It's not healthy. And our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health, our spiritual health, they're so important. And we can't take them for granted. Okay? Now, when we say goodbye, and I'm talking about being in love with somebody, I told her, because she was like, all right, let's be friends. And it was an old song by Deborah Cox and RL from Next. And he said, we can't be friends because I'm still in love with you. That's why we can't be friends. How am I gonna be friends with you when I'm still emotionally attached? I'm still in love with you. How that's gonna work? Little things you may say, little things you may do may have me no further away from the day I said goodbye, however much time passes by, away. Like I'm still here. I'm still emotionally attached. I'm still investing time into this. Like we can't be friends. Okay? Until you're completely healed. That's my opinion. You know, I don't want to have that person that I'm still physically involved with, emotionally involved with. I feel like you should cut ties, cut communication. Don't talk, don't speak. Don't go to places where y'all might bump into each other. Like really avoid them, because that's how you get them out of your system. Isn't that what music said? Can't get you out of my system. Right? Go and have crazy. I need to get you out my system. Okay? So I think in saying goodbye and me speaking from my experience, when I did that, when I try to cut ties completely, I felt like she would start calling again. No matter how many times I didn't answer the phone, calling again, texting again, saying little things, oh, I miss you. Oh, I can't be without you. But then when you open that door back up, they treating you the same exact way. You could have spared me this. You ain't have to bring me back here to do the same exact things that I told you was the issues. You gonna do them again? Why you calling? Why you texting? And I feel like that's when people manipulate you for whatever their reason may be, but to get you back into the fold. And that's when you got to be strong enough. You got to be honest again with yourself and continue to respect your boundaries and not allowing those people back in. Okay? You got to do those things. That's the only way we're going to be able to say goodbye for good. Because it was so hard. I done tried to say goodbye for good several times. But it pulled me right back in. That heart, it pulled me right back in. That dumb love, it pulled me right back in because I'm not being smart about it. So who knows who I'll be with going forward in life. I don't know, you know, that's not something that I really put a lot of time and thought into, But what I do try to put time and thought into is that self-love and self-care. And I dare you to go ahead and love on yourself the way you know you deserve and happily need to be loved on. Also, I left this out. Don't fall for the apologies and promises to change. Nah, I gotta tell you goodbye for good. You got me with that before. I fell for that last time. You apologized, and I really thought you were sincere about it. You promised that you was gonna meet me in the middle, and I would meet you back, like I've been trying to do. And thinking with my heart and not my head has allowed you back into my life. I'm not doing this again. I'm not accepting your apology this time. I can't do it. I don't believe the promises that you're making. I think you're gonna break them again. I can't do it. So don't fall for apologies and promises. You can do it one time. Okay, I'm gonna give you a chance. And then if you're crazy and slow like me, you'll do it again. All right, I gave you 2 times. Oh, I gave you 3 times. How many times? How many? Ask yourself that. How many times are you going to settle? Say that with me. How many times am I going to settle? How many times am I going to settle? How many times am I going to settle? All right? I felt that when I was saying that to y'all because it was coming from inside. And I know somebody else out there feels like me. Okay? So, I guess it's time for another challenge, y'all. And I guess we can call it the honesty challenge. So for the honesty challenge, it's simple. I want you to think about what you have in a relationship. I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to ask yourself, am I getting out of my relationship my key ingredients to my happiness? Now, we got to make our own selves happy in our own right without anybody else involved. But because we're giving our time and our love and our hearts and our minds and our emotions and sharing them with someone else, this is something that you have to ask yourself. This is the honesty challenge. I want you to be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what are the things that you feel as though you need in your relationship that are going to continue your happiness or bring you happiness? And those things that you aren't receiving, I want you to be honest with your partner about them and talk about them. You shouldn't live in fear. You shouldn't live unhappily. So let's practice that honesty challenge and let us know in the comments what you're getting out of this honesty challenge. Let me know if, hey, I've talked with my partner and we realized that we've been lying to each other. I've realized that I've been lying to myself. And that's what it's really all about, your happiness, all right? So now we're going to have some toast time with the king. It's simple, y'all. This week I made some blueberry juice, blueberries, spring water, honey, and it's on the money. So I'll give you a moment to get something good to put in the air with me as we ding, have a toast, a salute to ourselves, as we move ahead in life, as we continue to grow in life. And that's what it's all about. Our happiness, mind, body, and soul control. This toast, y'all, is to us being honest with ourselves. Here's another word that starts with H. This is a toast to us being able to discover our happiness. Us being serious about our happiness. Us being able to cut ties with the people that we love so we can achieve reaching that happiness. Also, this toast is to us being honest with the people that we're in relationships currently with about the things that we need and the changes that we need and the progress that we need. This is for strength to give us to have those conversations, that communication. I'm not saying just walk away from the person that you're with. Give them that opportunity. But if they can't meet the challenge, you gotta go. You have absolutely one chance at life. One. Once we're gone, we're gone. And guess what, y'all? Each and every last one of us has to go at some point. Like I said earlier, time is our most precious gift. Use yours wisely. Unwrap that gift each and every day and celebrate it. This is to us celebrating life, love, and happiness. Salute. It's so good. This episode of the King Omar Sharif Show is solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or any other qualified professional. I thank you so much for watching the King Omar Sharif Show tonight. There's so much more content to come each and every Tuesday night. I'm going to even start doing lives on Thursday night, so stay tuned for that. Gives us more opportunity to talk and build and grow with each other. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. There's so much more light and love to give. And you can watch more shows like this one and this one. I'll see you next week, y'all. That's love.